करते हैं एक खास चर्चा की ओर। टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री को लेकर सरकार का आउटलुक क्या है? वोडाफोन आइडिया को लेकर सरकार ने आखिर क्या प्लान्स बनाए हैं? बीएसएनएल के ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन को लेकर क्या योजनाएं हैं? इन्हीं सब मुद्दों को लेकर टेलीकॉम मंत्री ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया से बातचीत की हमारे सीनियर एग्जीक्यूटिव एडिटर अजीत मंघाट ने। आइए आपको दिखाते हैं।
Joining me today is Minister of Communication, Jyotiraditya Scindia. To begin with, sir, I want to get your perspective on the assessment of the Indian telecom sector. You have two strong telecom players. The third one has a 49% stake from the government, and the fourth is a public sector unit. How do you see the entire telecom sector?
Indian telecom story is a very, very robust success story for the world to emulate. We have grown in the last 11 years from a market of 900 million subscribers to close to over 1.2 billion subscribers. On the internet space, we have grown from 250 million to crossing over 1 billion internet subscribers. As far as broadband is concerned, we've grown from 60 million over 15 times to about 945 million subscribers. And all this growth, mind you, has come at a scorching pace of reduction in costs. A call per minute used to cost 50 paise in 2014. It's now come down to 0.03 paise, which is a 97% reduction in costs. If you look at 1 GB of data, it would cost 279 rupees. Today it costs downwards of 9 rupees per GB, which is a 94% reduction in costs. If you look at it in dollar terms, you're looking at roughly about 10 cents per GB. Where the world average is close to about $2.50 a GB. So we are operating at approximately 4% of international costs. And therefore, India is heralded to be the data center of the world, the telecom, the largest, we are the second largest telecom market, going to be the largest telecom market in the world.
You're right, sir. From a market's point of view, what the market wants to understand from you is what is your view on the Vodafone issue. The Supreme Court has allowed you to reassess the entire AGR dues. Where are we on that front?
So yes, you're right. The Supreme Court has passed a judgment vis-a-vis Vodafone. We are at this point of time examining that judgment, looking at what the possibilities are within the department. Once we come up with a proposition at the right time when the government takes a decision, you will be informed.
Sir, I understand that your policy has been that the government will not increase the stake in Vodafone beyond 49%. What does that leave the government? Means, is there going to be a kind of moratorium or an interest-free loan debt that would be given to, or the AGR dues will be converted into an interest-free debt for Vodafone? Are these options on the table?
So, as I mentioned to you earlier, number one, the government is not going to raise its stake beyond 49%, and there's a very clear rationale for that. The minute you raise your stake beyond 49%, the company becomes a PSU, and that's not the intent nor the aim of Government of India. Having said that, within that rubric of not extending your equity stake based on the judgment of the Supreme Court, the DOT today is evaluating what are those options. Once we take a call on those options and the government endorses the path forward, you will be informed. At this point of time, I cannot divulge more than that.
Sir, one of the key pillars of our digital growth story is BSNL, and you've been able to revive BSNL with cash infusion, putting in new technology, 4G deployment which has come in. How is BSNL now shaping up?
So the 4G execution has been on track. We've put together, out of the 100,000 towers, we've erected and commissioned close to about 97,000 towers, which was inaugurated by the Prime Minister in late September this year. Our customer base from last June has grown from 8.55 crores to almost about 9.26 crores, which is close to almost a 9.5% growth over a little more than a year in terms of our customer base. Third, for the first time probably in the history of BSNL, we are holding quarterly reviews with all our chief general managers across our 32 circles in terms of looking at revenue projections from our different business verticals. And finally, if you look at H1 results, this year compared to H1 results last year, we've had close to about a 16% growth in top line and almost a 43% growth in EBITDA, our operating profit. Last year we closed at 5,139 crores of operating profit, and we are forecasting hopefully close to about 6,500 to 7,000 crores of operating profit this year.
चलिए, तो 18 स्वदेश सुपर एक्सक्लूसिव बातचीत आपने देखी टेलीकॉम मंत्री के साथ, लेकिन अब शो को समाप्त करने का समय भी हो रहा है। उससे पहले झटपट रूपक से जुड़ जाते हैं और बात कर लेते हैं टेलीकॉम क्षेत्र पर। एयरटेल यहाँ पर लगातार हम देख रहे हैं कि आज का मोमेंटम बरकरार यहाँ पर रखता हुआ और कुछ कॉल्स भी यहाँ पर आती हुई, जिसकी वजह से कीमतों को सपोर्ट मिल रहा है। लेकिन आपका टेलीकॉम क्षेत्र में क्या होगा पिक, रूपक?
डेफिनेटली भारतीय एयरटेल में रहेगा। आइडिया भी मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है, लेकिन भारतीय का चार्ट थोड़ा बेहतर लग रहा है क्योंकि एक डाउनवर्ड कंसोलिडेशन के बाद एक रिकवरी दे रहा है। 2120 का एक रेजिस्टेंस है, मुझे लगता है रेजिस्टेंस के ऊपर चला जाएगा 1-2 दिन में और सिग्निफिकेंट अपसाइड टुवर्ड्स 2200 तक दे सकता है। तो और यहाँ से नीचे एक स्टॉप लॉस रहेगा 2070। तो 2070 का स्टॉप लॉस से बाय किया जा सकता है स्टॉक को फॉर टारगेट ऑफ 2200।
2200 के टारगेट के साथ जो है आपको भारतीय एयरटेल में इनिशिएट करनी है खरीदारी। 2070 का स्टॉप लॉस 2120 एक ऐसा लेवल जो मार्क कीजिएगा, उसके ऊपर जाता है तो अपवर्ड मोमेंटम यहाँ पर देखने को मिल सकता है। रूपक, शुक्रिया।